My dear fellows, one of the important skill that we must have, especially those people who are involved in education, they are involved in learning process, or they are involved in doing research, or they are involved in writing, speaking, reading, listening, linguistic, educational, knowledge, data, in such dimensions. Even for a common person also, it is important that one should be analytical. So what are analytical skills? Analytical skill is a cognitive ability to analyze, to divide something into its parts. It is a cognitive ability, because skill means that expertise which you can have 100% correct results. That is called skill. For example, there is a carpenter is a skillful person. When you take a piece of wood to that carpenter to prepare to make a chair, so you are 100% sure that the carpenter will be making that chair for you, because he or she is a carpenter. So we are 100% sure of his or her skill. So skill is that expertise whose results are 100% guaranteed. When you are skillful, so everybody can expect that you will give 100% results. There will be no chance of failure. For example, you have some problem at your home and your pipes, your washroom pipes are not, they have some problem, and you call the plumber, and the plumber comes, and the plumber, you are 100% sure that when you call the plumber comes, so the problem will be resolved. So this is called skill. For example, I have speaking skill. So whenever I am speaking, so you people are sure that Naeem Khan will be speaking something, in an excellent way, and Naeem Khan is a good public speaker. This is my skill. Communication is my skill. So similarly, analytical skill, that is also a skill which we can learn, like driving, like carpentry, like any other skill. We can also learn to be analytical. So we have to be expert in analysis. Now, analysis means dividing something into its parts so that we deconstruct it. We deconstruct. Deconstruct means that the construction that we have, we destroy it for the sake of reconstruction. For example, you are given, postmodernism is a very important philosophy. Now, this is a statement which is a complicated statement, and you have to divide it into its parts, and then this ability, this skill is called analytical skill. So basically, it is a cognitive ability to deconstruct. What is the definition of analytical skill? The cognitive ability to deconstruct. Cognitive means cognition. What is going on inside your mind, that is called cognition, your thought process. That's why critical thinking, that is an important element of analytical skills. You cannot be analyst if you do not have critical thinking. Another element of analytical skill, that is logical reasoning. You must be logical, and you should know logical reasoning. Logic means that when you give your arguments, so your arguments are convincing. Your arguments are convincing. Your arguments are valid. Your arguments are such that the people believe in it and they agree with it. Yes, it is logical. I cannot deny. I cannot refuse. This I have to accept. So that thing is called logical. So logical reasoning, that is also a part of analytical skills. Now, logical reasoning can be of different types. It can be deductive, it can be inductive, it can be abductive. There are so many types of logical reasoning. So critical thinking, I have given a complete video here on critical thinking. Critical thinking is an indispensable part of analytical skills. Similarly, logical reasoning, deductive. Deductive means that from general towards specific. For example, we say that all Pakistanis are nice people. Ahmed is a Pakistani. So logically, we prove that Ahmad will be a nice person. So the hypothesis that is 100% true. And then our conclusion that is also true. This is called deductive logic. And the opposite is inductive logic, scientific method. That we start from small, from small, and we go towards the bigger. We start from simple and we go towards complicated. We start from atom and we want to analyze the universe. We have an atom in our hand, we conduct our experiment, we draw a conclusion, and that conclusion we apply on the whole universe. So this is such a wonderful thing, because a galaxy, a Milky Way, sun, and a mountain is also made of atoms, and I am also made of atoms, and you are also made of atoms. We are all made of atoms, and then we have subatomic particles. So this is inductive logic, and then we have abductive logic, where we take the hypothesis, but the hypotheses are not so sure, like in deductive logic. For example, a patient goes to a doctor, so the patient cannot explain that what is going on with me, what is my problem. The patient has, patient sees that I am not feeling well, I have some problems, but I don't know how should I explain. So because of some symptoms, doctor makes a hypothesis. Doctor may suppose that maybe this, maybe that, and those suppositions, when the doctor applies on the patient, so then it is called abductive logic, because doctor is expert in his or her profession. These are a bit complicated. I know a lot of terminologies: deductive, inductive, abductive, logical reasoning, critical thinking. These are the elements of analytical skills. In future, and also I am conducting nowadays philosophy classes in SAF. We have a SAF online system where I conduct proper classes, in which online classes in which I am explaining all these things. Here also I will be explaining with the passage of time. Now another thing which is important for analytical skills, that is communication. Communication is highly important. If when you draw your conclusions, when you deconstruct, when you divide the statement into its parts, and then you focus on each part separately and you draw your conclusion, this is called analytical skill. You are analyzing, you are an analyst. For example, a huge thing is given to you, so you do not understand. For example, to me today, somebody gave me this topic of analytical skill. It's a huge topic, but I am now analyzing analysis. I am analyzing analysis. I am going into its parts. I am explaining the parts. Like the one part of analysis is logical reasoning. Another part of analysis is critical thinking. Another part is communication. So these are the parts of analysis. Now, when we communicate, so that communication means that we have analyzed the statement. If you cannot communicate, it means that you have not analyzed. You have not understood. So, this is very, very basic, that we should have the skill of communication. Now, communication, again, is a whole world. And on communication, when the message you communicate from the sender to the receiver, and the receiver gives you feedback, and the way you are analyzing the information, you are conveying the information is received, and then it is clarified. So this is also one of the important element of analytical skills. So when you are going to become an analyst, you must know logic, you must know critical thinking, you must know how to draw conclusions, you must know how to analyze data. Now, analysis cannot be done without data. When, for example, somebody gave you a topic that let me know what are the problems of overpopulation, population explosion. So you are going to analyze this topic. So you must have some data. For example, how much is the population of Pakistan? 220 million people. What is the status of Pakistan in Human Development Index, HDI, 170 or 150? So why? It is very strange. Logical reasoning, deductive, inductive logic. Why we are 220 million people fifth most populous country in the world, and in human development index we are so low. So it means that all these human beings, they are not productive. Human capital is going to, it is like wasted. The human resources are not properly developed. We are living like animals. We are just eating, drinking, sleeping, and we are not productive. So these are some of the conclusions that you draw with data. Data analysis, that is one of the another important part of this analytical skills. So what is the basic message that I want to convey when we talk about analytical skills? The basic message is that when you are going to analyze, you are going to deconstruct, you are going to destroy for reconstruction. When a statement is given, a question is given, so you do the linguistic analysis, you divide that statement into its parts, then you focus on each part, on each word, on each element, on each phrase, on each data. You define that data, you explain that data, then you combine one element with another element. You become totally logical, scientific, philosophical. Your reasoning, that is objective. You are evaluating things not in a subjective way, because analytical skills cannot be improved by those people who are highly emotional. Emotional means that they are using their subjectivity, the thoughts that they already have in their minds. They do not see outside. For example, if you are impressed by Naeem Khan and whatever Naeem Khan is speaking, and you say, okay, Naeem Khan is speaking something great. So this is not analytical skills. If you are dividing by this discourse, by this lecture into its parts, and then you are focusing on each part separately, you are deconstructing, you are destroying, you are, dividing each and every element, and then you draw your conclusions. So this is called analytical skills. So for analytical skills, especially in education, it is very, very important. We should not accept the whole blocks. When the blocks are given to us, statements are given to us, paragraphs are given to us, chapters are given to us, books are given to us. So the whole book is counterproductive. You have to divide the book into its chapters. Then you have to divide each chapter into paragraphs. Then each paragraph into sentences, and then sentences into words. And then words, you have to go into the meaning, into the pronunciation, into the spelling of each and every word. So this way you are analytical, that you are dividing the thing into its parts, and then you focus, you attend, you concentrate on each and every part separately. So, this is knowledge, and this is not easy. Otherwise, you just eat, drink, sleep, and be merry, enjoy your life. But if you want to come to the field of knowledge, field of education, and you want to come here to the world of intellectual academic world, so then you have to get analytical skills. I will be speaking further details of this important topic. But from today onward, let us promise that you will be analytical. Analytical means that when a statement is given to you, a speech is given to you, somebody is speaking, somebody is writing, you are dividing that whole into small parts. You focus on each small part, and then you draw your conclusion. And for this, science is required, philosophy is required, logic is required, critical thinking is required, communication is required, data analysis is required, inferences are required, premises are required. There are so many things, hypotheses are required. It is a huge technical subject, how you can become analytical. But today it was just introductory. I hope you liked this introduction to analytical skills, and in future you have to be more analytical. And one last thing that I forgot, that is creativity. Once you are analytical, so you cannot be analytical without creativity. So I will be speaking in future that how can we become creative, how can we interpret things, how can we explain things, how can we describe things, how we can clarify things. So that is also part of analytical skills. Creativity is part of analytical skills as well. Without creativity, you cannot become analytical. Because if you are not creative, so So the thing is already there. What is your role? Your role is to deconstruct, to divide, to focus on each part in a creative, logical, scientific, philosophical, literary way. You have to critically examine it. And when you are examining it, so you have creativity. So that will be my another lecture on creativity and other parts of analytical skills. All the best, my dear friends.